Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 446, recorded on September 28th, 2023. On tonight's episode, we talk about Unity, Legos, and all your questions. Jesse, you know what to do.
Woohoo! It's us, Nintendo Dads. That was terrible. Just like
for a minute there, I thought I was like, "What? Do I have my headphones on to a different show or something? What's going on here?"
Charles Martinet, did he just show up? No, he didn't. Because
probably not as bad as my attempt a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't know. That
was good. It just threw me off. I was because I looked away, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Whoa!" Like,
I've had a lot of caffeine today. But hey, you're rolling with us, episode 446 of Nintendo Dads, September 28th, 2023. And we're glad you've showed up. Also, I'm glad that Jesse and Tim have showed up to rescue me from being on the show by myself. Justin, unfortunately, is sick this week. He's got a little head cold, a man cold, if you will. And so he called in and said, hey, guys, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be on the show.
Come on. You know what he did. He was like, I got a code for Cocoon, so I don't feel good.
Oh, did that come in?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's why.
I'm kidding. I'm teasing, Justin. I'm teasing.
Listen, I'm sure that he is quite sick and that he's, that he's well wishes to you, Justin. We hope you feel better and you're back on the show soon. Jesse Waldak, 8-year employee of the month or the year running. I don't know.
9.
Whatever we call you.
Neither do I.
9? Is it 9?
Yep.
Well,
we're
9. We're almost at 9.
It's 9. It's 9.
It's just 9. Sure.
It's 9.
9?
9!
I feel like I played Secret Hitler again all of a sudden. Jesse, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. That's a great game if you have the right people. Because there was... We have a friend that has since moved to Texas and then now Florida, but he and his son are just brutal at that game. They are surprisingly good.
They can mind meld because they they share DNA. And speaking of DNA evidence, Tim Off, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I think I'm good. Just threw me off too.
I try to keep you on your toes. Just make sure you're paying attention. Listen.
I was watching the Lions game earlier. We when we started the get things ready. I actually need to go look and see what the current score is. But
hey, hang on, wait. I'll tell you. Hey, can I ask a question? Because I haven't been keeping up. Has barbecue been transferred yet?
But yes, I have the barbecue. Yes,
and he did an unboxing. I don't know if he did a streaming of the cooking session that he said he might do.
We were going to do it this past weekend. We just things didn't work out to do that, and I didn't want to do anything quick about it. So I was just like, we're going to do it when we do it. But we have it. We have all the finger licking good barbecue ready to go.
Okay.
So. And the Lions, 27-11, are beating Green Bay in Green Bay. It's just, I am, I hope nothing happens.
They still play on Lambeau Field, or do they try and get a new stadium too?
They're still in Lambeau Field. They're still Lambeau Field, as far as I know. So, all right.
Apparently, maybe there wasn't a lot of cheeseheads in the crowds, right? That's
correct.
That's them.
That's them. That's correct.
That's them. They're one of my favorite sports ball teams because their fans wear food. on their
Cheese.
heads. Yeah, cheese makes everything better.
Yes.
Thus proven it makes football better when you put cheese on it.
That's correct.
Except not tonight, because apparently lions like to eat cheese.
Yes, they do. How you doing, Marty? How you doing?
Good. I'm good. It's been hey, we're here.
Yes, we are.
You don't know what I was getting into, like a modern day Harry Carey. Hey. The moon was made out of green cheese. Would you eat it? I know I would. Hey. Anyway, we've got not a lot to talk about on the show tonight, which is probably why I'm wasting a ton of time here.
We're just gonna have fun with it.
We're gonna have a great show. We want to thank you for tuning in. Golly, it's almost 450 episodes. What in the world? People have actually been listening to this for 450 episodes, which is a miracle.
And we have 7,000 subscribers now on YouTube. Can you believe that?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. Nintendo Dads, worldwide empire. Skirt.
Yes.
We're taking off.
No cap. I'm got.
No cap. What was it?
You said
something printer.
Straight
no
facts,
printer.
Straight facts, no printer. Straight facts, no printer. Let's talk about the news. Let's talk about some facts. Let's go. Every person who listens to this show that is under a certain age, like that might use some of those phrases, probably just like painfully cringed when we.
That's the point of Dad saying that. We want any of the teenagers or anybody who uses those words on a daily to be that's cringe.
So jumping ahead to kind of something that I saw from Sea of Stars, when I got the name of the second giant, and I just laughed my ass off.
Oh yeah.
And then when I actually used, I said. So I got up to that section. I said, "Hey Matthew, come here," and I kind of gave him the scenario of what the giants are, and they have names, and you have to say their name, and they'll do their thing. I didn't tell him what the thing was yet, and then I showed him, and he goes, "I hate this."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "That was what I wanted." And I took a snap of it and saved it to my phone and sent it to my daughters. No responses from them yet, but.
No, you probably won't get one. But speaking of things that do need a response, our news is brought to us each and every week by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where you are building the greatest community on the internet. May I say, as the young folks say, it's straight fire. And so you can become part of this community by going to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where you can sign up for as little as $1 a month, or you can give us $5 a month or $10 a month or $30 a month. And you don't have to do it monthly. You can do it yearly. Like if you say, hey, you know what? I want to support at the $30 level and I want to pay it all in one lump sum. You can do that and we'll give you a month free. Even if it's just $1 a month, we'll give you that extra month free. So you actually are paying for 11 instead of 12. It's our gift to you. And it helps you get into the Discord where we get to do monthly mayhem and the table and all kinds of other great stuff over there, including commiserating about the fact that Hatch Tales finally has a release date. And why is that not in our notes?
It is in our notes. It is.
There it is. Oh boy. Oh boy. Anyway, patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. Head on over there. Sign up if you haven't. If you are listening to this and this makes you feel guilty, that's your sign to go sign up. Anyway, speaking of feeling guilty, let's talk about Unity. Boy, did they.
Wow. That was a transition.
Boy,
was awesome.
Did they crap the bed, guys? I mean, really. This has been a huge debacle. I know you guys talked about it on the show last week, but there's been more news since then. So one of you two who actually knows more about this than me, why don't you tell us where we're at with Unity?
Okay, so they put a blog post out last week or earlier this week, I forget when, with basically saying they opened with we are sorry. Like literally that's how they opened it. they knew they made a mess of things. So they restructured what they wanted to do, and I think this is more fair, and I think most of the developers who have been complaining, rightfully so, also agree that this is better. So this is what they did. Unity Personal will be exempt from this new fee, making Personal's fee structure unchanged. What has changed is that they now have the ability to not show the Made with Unity banner at the start of their games, where before it was mandatory at the personal level and only available to hide at the higher tiers. So, which I think that one's most amusing of all this. So, like, even, so they're letting the free users hide the Unity banner. And the revenue limit for the personal tier has been increased from $100,000 to $200,000. Then the revenue limit in a 12-month period has been increased from $200,000 to $1 million before the fees set in. The fees will only be applied to users of the newest version of Unity that will be released in early 2024, which means that games that are already out with no updates will not have the fee. If an older game is updated with a newer version of Unity, then that $1 million revenue counter will start at that time. And then if they make the $1 million, then they'll start having fees after that. So for applications that will start incurring fees, the developer will have the choice of either a 2.5% revenue share or a calculated amount based on the number of new people engaged with the game each month, whichever is the lower amount, and the developer gets to self-report that.
Okay, so here's the deal. For what does this mean for the common person? Let me rephrase that question. For game developers, what does this mean for game developers for the common person? Like, explain it like the Reddit. Explain it like I'm 5.
Okay, so basically, well, like before they were saying, we want to charge you money even on your older games. And now they're not going to do that anymore. And even on newer games, they were wanted to charge a fee for anything over $200,000 earned. Now that's up to $1 million. So it will definitely lower the number of developers that will have to pay the fee. Like if I put out a game and it only makes $900,000 only, then I still don't have to pay any additional fees to Unity outside of whatever normal fee I've had to pay just to get access to the license. Of course, if I make that much, I wouldn't be eligible for the personal anymore. If someone makes a game that only makes $100,000, then they can still be on the personal and literally pay Unity nothing. So I think overall, this is, for the smaller developers, they won't have to pay anything or they'll be paying less. For the larger developers, they may have to pay more because, 2.5% of $70 is over $1, which is more than the 20 cents per install that they wanted. But, they just made a crap ton of money selling millions of $70 games. They can afford the 2.5% easier than your indie.
Well, I was going to say, what this is going to be is it's going to be fewer people paying more.
Yeah. That's a good summary. And then and for, say, the non-devs, say the end users, the game purchasers, because some of the developers actually threatened to delist their games on December 31st. Now they don't have to do that anymore. So the people who are playing the games won't have to wonder if the game that they're waited on will still be around or not.
Like Cult of the Lamb, they were talking about taking their game off the
Exactly.
eShops and digitally. Well, if you hadn't bought it by that point, you wouldn't have had access to it, or if you've been sitting on it, you wouldn't be able to buy it after that point if they did that. But yeah. So it's it's cool that they figured it out. But one thing that I still don't understand what corporations do is when they decide to not learn from history from other companies' mistakes, and that is
or their own,
and not talk to their audience first, who, talk to their clients, their customers, get feedback from them.
Yeah, I understand.
Go ahead, Jesse.
I understand that Unity is a money sink. I don't think it's ever actually profited. While they do have, millions, if not billions of revenue every year, it's still losing money year over year. So it is heavily requiring new investments to stay around. So they're trying to find new ways, new revenue streams. They just severely overshot.
Right. And then really overshot it with the community that supports them the most. So it's like, why not? It's very important. I find it valuable that companies do any type of surveys or, focus groups or whatever you want to call it, to talk to your customers to understand what they like or what they don't like before you make a move. And you also use data too. And to me, even that decision wasn't made by data that they had.
Yeah, but I mean, before people go off and they're all like, well, this is so cool. Why is it that we, people have to keep, pushing back on these instead of just saying, and Jesse, you kind of explained it a little bit. It's like, well, they're losing money year over year, right? But why is it that we have to constantly push back on decisions or why do companies make decisions, just like Tim said, without asking? I'll give you a great example. We're dealing with this. So if you are someone who is an Apple user, you're on iOS, then and you also use screen time with your kids, then in iOS 17, they completely broke it. All right. This started with 16, that someone at Apple thought it would be a great idea to have your screen time request, which is if you have time limits on apps, your kids can send requests for more time. So and you can give it to them in increments, 15 minutes to an hour to all day to no, I'm not giving you any more time. So this whole time since screen time came available, those app limit requests came in the form of a push notification that came from the screen time app. You can 3D touch those. So you can push down on them and it'll pop out and it'll let you, very easily grant more time or pull down from the top of the screen. Well, in iOS 16, they decided, hey, you know what would be a great idea? Let's have those go to text messages that send to both parents that are attached to the family group. Well, that's not great. And one of the reasons why is because it messages you at your Apple ID and not your phone number. Well, I had my Apple ID turned off. I don't want messages from an email address. I've never wanted messages from an email address. I think that's a stupid feature too. And so my kids were sending these screen time requests. And they're like, why are you not approving them? So it just broke when we installed iOS 17, when it released. There was a workaround in 16 where if you had your Apple ID turned off, it would still do the push notifications. There's still a option in settings in the notifications to get push notifications from screen time. They just don't use it anymore.
They just don't work.
I went through tech support on Apple and basically they called me back last night and they said, the resolution is the feature is working as expected. Goodbye. And I'm like, no, it's not working as expected because no one asked for this. It was working fine before and you broke it. And now it's not easy to use anymore. Now I have to go through all my devices and make sure that my Apple ID is turned on to receive messages so that I can get these screen time messages. So my kids aren't texting me going, please accept my request. Or why didn't you accept my request? Before it was easy. Now it's stupid and hard. So The whole
Right.
thing, like, and I told, like, they're like, you can send feedback to Apple. So I did. And I said, you run your whole platform on, it should just be easy to use. This is not. Please fix it.
Right.
And it's the same thing with Unity. It's the same thing with like when like a game updates and it's like, oh, we just added in a crap ton more commands or options, or like when you go into a game and it's like, hey, you know what would be fun? Let's have you upgrade your spells and upgrade your armor and upgrade your axe and upgrade your, I'm looking at you, God of War Ragnarok. That just, it takes me out of the game. Just make it easy to play. I don't play video games to go to stores and figure out how to upgrade all my stuff. That's shopping. That's real world crap. I don't do it. I don't want to do it. I just want to cut giants in half with an axe. That's all I want to do. I mean, come on.
A simple life.
And just and collect things to make it more powerful if necessary.
And also this, like here, yeah, that's fine. The only thing that should upgrade on it is, do you want to put this artifact in the axe and make it more powerful? Yes. Great. Do it. Don't give me more axes and all kinds of, that's too much decisions. Just let me kill stuff.
Yeah, I liked it back in the original one where you just had to collect these orbs to power up the chains. Yes. And then they got more powerful as you went through the game and collected more orbs, and then you were God of War by the time you were getting close to the end.
Yep. Why? You know why? You know why you were the God of War by the time you got to the end? Because you put the powerful thing in the thing.
Yes.
And that's it. You just
did the thing in the thing.
Put in the thing.
Yes.
Anyway, we're golly, we're Nintendo grandpas at this point. We're saying, get off my lawn. Back in my day, Mario didn't have to equip boots.
Okay, all right, here we go. Hambone Johnny says it's an RPG now, which then, of course, you get the Final Fantasy, which is no longer really an RPG. It's more of an action garbage. They swapped.
Let's switch it up. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on with Unity. Hopefully that's settled. Hopefully everybody makes a lot of money. That, you know, I don't know. Anyway. Here's something that's going to make a lot of money. I hope.
Sorry. I got to read this.
Okay.
Quag 313 says barbecue sauce is just big boy ketchup.
It's just spice.
We're talking about buffalo. You know, Quag says buffalo is greater than barbecue.
You know what?
Sauce is just big boy ketchup.
You know what barbecue sauce really is? It's just spicy ketchup.
Yep. That's big boy ketchup. Yep.
It's just spicy ketchup. I don't know what that has to do with anything we're talking about. But
they got their own conversation going on.
Yeah,
in chat.
I got it. I got it.
Shout out real quick. Antonio I'm sorry, Antonio. I cannot get Contronio. Thank you.
Tim, look at me.
Yes.
Say it with me. No, say this with me.
Yes. There's no N in there though. It's
Kun.
But you
Contronio. Say it with me. Say it with me. Repeat after me. Tro. Neo.
You
I know skipped
Neo.
ahead.
I know Neo.
You skipped ahead, but that was
Cotronio. But anyways, Antonio is visiting, so we're gonna just shout out and say hi.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him in a while, so I just wanted to say
hi. We're glad he's here. We're glad he's here. Hey, watch me connect this. Barbecue ketchup is red. Barbecue sauce is red. You know what else is red? The bricks that you're going to use to build the Lego Piranha Plant that got announced this week. From
Beautiful.
Nintendo. I am super stoked about this because it's like the most affordable Nintendo set that Lego has produced yet. Coming in at $60 for I believe a 9-inch tall Piranha Plant.
Yes.
That's
60 for, just to be clear, 60.
Yeah, $60. So here are the features according to Lego's website. Buildable display model of the Mario Piranha Plant. Create iconic poses, pose the head, mouth, stalk, and leaves. buildable pipe. Place the Piranha Plant in the brick-built pipe. The set also includes 2 coin elements made for display. It measures over 9 inches high and 6.5 inches deep. Please note the model has no digital play functions, and that is interesting because 2 of the previous Nintendo models have had digital play functions, with Bowser and the Nintendo both having a little scannable brick to use with Lego Mario. It is a 540-piece Lego set, and it will be available on November the 6th. If any of my family is listening and would like to buy me something for Christmas, I will take all of them. If you would like to buy multiple Mario Piranha Plants, I'll find places for them. So
there's gonna be a whole line of Mario Piranha Plants behind you.
I mean,
Piranha Forest.
Yes,
I love it. I think this is really cool, and I'm glad that Nintendo has finally decided to let Lego make these things instead of like Mega Blocks.
Yes,
because when my kids were little, we had Mario Kart, Mega Blocks, or whatever and stuff, and they were garbage.
Yeah, we had the Pokemon ones, and they weren't too good either.
Yeah, I saw like an Eevee set, like an Eevee Evolution set. I'm like, ooh, that might be cool. I'll give my daughter, but it was like from Mega. I'm like, okay, no, I'll pass then.
Yeah, I did just buy my son the Pokemon Kanto starters. It comes with a Pokeball, and it comes with Pikachu, Squirtle, Charizard, Charmander, and Bulbasaur.
Nice.
And it's actually really cool. He said they were a little squishy. I put them together, like they didn't have the same.
Yeah, there's something about them that's just they're not.
No, they didn't have like the same consistency as a Lego.
Right.
Like they were a little bendy. But I have put together the Nintendo and the Bowser, and I will be getting this Piranha Plant. I'm super excited about it, and I'm looking forward to what they do in the future. Now, if you want to laugh, I just sent my son this a minute ago. Lego has done a Sonic the Hedgehog brickhead figure.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go look this up right now. They also have Tails.
Yeah,
y'all, this looks like it's seen some stuff. I'm just saying. Do you see it?
Ew.
Have you seen it?
Ew.
I don't remember it looking that bad. Lego brickheads.
That's worse than Ugly Sonic.
This needs to be in the next movie. If you're an audio listener, you owe it to yourself to go Google Lego Sonic the Hedgehog.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Tim.
It's not that bad. It looks like a brickhead. Brickheads aren't meant to look like.
Well, I've never seen a brickhead before, so I had no reference.
And listen, it looks traumatized.
Okay.
It looks like it's been traumatized. Okay.
Look, there's
the Tails one doesn't.
I didn't build it yet, but look, I got this one that I'm going to build. So I got the Silco one.
That one doesn't look offensive.
The Sonic one looks like it's like lurking behind a corner, like, "Hey kids, want to come play with some rings?"
Tim just showed an Ahsoka brickhead.
Yeah, I still got to put it together.
It didn't look bad. The Sonic looks bad.
No, the Sonic looks bad. Maybe it's because like the whole top of the face is that eye space.
Yes,
I don't know. So it looks like he's like, "Hey." Just wide-eyed.
Mikey Dreamer said, it's Sanic. It's Sanic.
It is Sanic. It is Sanic. Let's talk about a couple other things. Like I said, we don't have a lot of news this week, but Pokemon Go has updated their list of supported devices. And with the next release, Android 7 OS, which was released in 2016. So, nearly 8 years ago.
Yeah, if you're still playing with a 7-year-old phone,
will no longer be supported. And so you can't catch your Pokemans.
I have to get rid of this phone now. Doggone it.
Yes.
Now I can't play Pokemon Go on it.
Hey Tim, I tell you what, you can come over to iOS and they'll tell you how you can get messages and when you can get them.
Okay.
So for comparison, I looked to see what the iOS requirement was, and you have to have iOS 14, so a 3-year-old OS. which kind of sounds more reasonable than still having a 7-year-old OS lying around.
Yeah, I agree. A couple of game release updates we want to talk about here. Disney Speedstorm, which Tim has promoted in the past, and now free to play. Tim, are you still playing Disney Speedstorm?
Every now and then I jump into it and still play it. I'm not as far as Drew is. Drew's been killing it with this game, and he's been loving it too. So, But if you are a Disney fan and a racing fan, especially like I like Asphalt 9, so it's from the same people who made Asphalt. The combination of those two, Asphalt 9 and Disney characters, is just phenomenal. The boards, the music in the game is also just, I wish I could just get a soundtrack of that stuff.
Speaking of licensed racing games, I wanted to ask, have you played Lego 2K Drive?
I have it, but I haven't tried it yet.
Oh,
I actually forgot I had it.
There's a demo available on the Switch now.
Yeah.
I was not impressed. It felt very floaty to me. It felt really like anybody could win. Like it was like like didn't matter how good you raced. And I don't know. Maybe it was just at the beginning. It just
I picked it up on sale and I let Sammy play it, and then I just forgot about it and never got around to playing it. So
yeah, and it'll probably that's one that will probably be on sale Black Friday. I really feel like Lego games usually go on sale around that time.
Yeah.
Also on sale right now, Eastward is on sale 50% off through October 10th. And right now it is the newest Nintendo Switch Online game trial. So you can download it and try it from today, if you're hearing this on the audio version, through October 3rd. Eastward is a nice little action RPG type game, kind of Earthbound inspired. And so if you like that type of thing, you should definitely check it out. I played some of it and I lost interest, but it was always something I wanted to play. And DLC for this is coming.
Yeah, I was gonna say they have that DLC they just announced, right? So
yep.
Good time to pick it up so you can get that DLC.
Absolutely. And it looks like, I think they said you could play the DLC standalone.
I think so, yes.
So Front Mission 2 Remake now has a release date of October 5th. So that's a very strategy-filled day, by the way, because that's the same day that Wargroove 2 launches. So strategy fans rejoice, I guess. And do you believe it?
No, I don't.
I don't either. Hatch Tales finally has a release date promised in 2023. We're getting it in 2024. March 28th, 2024, which if I go to my calendar right now and look, that is let me see here.
It's the end of the first quarter. It's last release date before the end of the quarter or fiscal year.
It's March 28th, which is a Thursday, which means Nintendo will announce the Switch 2 the day that Hatch Tales releases. Probably at the same time. There was originally a post made about the release date that it was going to be announced, that Nintendo Life was going to release that. Backers of the game got the release date an hour before everyone else, which was anyway. But backers also did finally get some explanation for why what took so long. And basically what it amounted to was we started making the game, and then we realized that the first thing they realized was that the level editor didn't need to be the emphasis, because this wasn't a game like Super Mario where people would really want to make levels. And that's what drove them, right? So they said, oh, we need to concentrate on the platforming. So then they did that and made sure the platforming was good, and then made sure the art and the music was good. But then they realized that a lot of people may not buy a game about a cutesy little chicken with a worm in its backpack. So there's also a brand new campaign with Hawk, who is a flightless hawk with a grappling hook, who will have his own separate campaign platforming part of the game. My question is this. Now, I still I'm a little miffed that's taken so long. I only bought in for $10. Some people like Bobby Paul's, rest his soul. He spent $500 on this game, right? And backed it as one of those backers.
I backed it for 100.
You backed it for 100, Tim. Let me ask you for something here. Just, I know we've talked this to death, but for you as $100 backer, like $10 for me, $10. Let me just, I don't want to say this and sound really arrogant and douchey. All right. Because I almost said $10 is nothing, but $10 can be something for lots of people in our world. I was just going to say that compared to you, that's not as much. I mean, you spent 10 times what I did. Is this too little too late for you?
I am glad that he or whoever else he worked with explained where they're coming from and why it ended up being what it is today. I am glad that got through there. I'm glad we got a date. I'm glad we're getting, to that point where I'm not afraid that it's going to be nothing. I don't have to fear that part anymore. What I am upset about is that, and what you said earlier when you were explaining what was happening, you said something that triggered why I was angry about this. Even this part was that, I think you said, summarizing what they were saying, we got to a point where we thought nobody would buy this, so we wanted to do something different. That is the wrong mentality because, sir, you did a Kickstarter where everybody did back you and you were funded for a remake for Chicken Wiggle. We wanted Chicken Wiggle for the Switch. And all we wanted you to do was do that. That's all we backed. You deciding to make it more than that that's where you decide, okay, let's do a DLC or something later on. Rebuild the game to make Chicken Wiggle, and then you sell add-on DLC later.
Yeah, and I mean, also, I didn't mention this, but I will now, was the admission of we ran out of money. And so we had to sell.
Yeah, no kidding. You only raised less than $40,000 6 years ago. That money won't last long. No.
Yeah, we ran out of money, and so to keep a TUI afloat, we were forced. It's basically like they were saying, we were forced to, take on all these little projects. And
That's
again,
explain the part where they, when they started diverting all that kind of stuff. It's just, again, that's great explanation, great for bringing us up to speed, and we're going to get something. I also wonder if there's an impact to anything else that we were supposed to get. Like, is there an impact to the $100 I gave? Am I going to get all those things I backed? I'm not getting the game I backed. So am I going to get everything else that came with that $100?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
especially,
I mean, there's people in here saying, like, I just went to the comments. Here's some of the comments. Wow, you really tossed your Kickstarter folks under the bus. Another person, I do believe this hurt the trust of many loyal customers that your games had in the future. Please reflect on this. Another very disappointing. We backed a simple port of a cute pixel art platformer and level editor. Another person, simplistic childish designs while I liked the game. And so
we just backed a port. We were just wanting it to come to the Switch.
That's what I wanted to say here. So you were talking about it on the Megadaz Discord, and someone goes, I don't get what the big deal is. And so I summarized it as, it was a game that had a 3DS release in 2017, and people wondered, why not Switch? So he kickstarted the Switch port, originally just as a port. Draw some new graphics, get it to work with existing code, should be fast. But then he changed the scope of his own project to hell and back.
Again,
to the point now where we're going to ask, why not the Switch successor?
Right. And here's a great comment to those notes. So let me get this straight. You had a successful Kickstarter with an existing premise and character design and went back to the drawing board because you didn't think people wanted the existing premise and character designs. and then just stayed silent about this for 5 years instead of maybe asking the backers for feedback or at least informing them about the changes along the way.
That's where exactly in that point right there is you come and it could have been unprecedented, or I don't know if this has ever been done, but you come back and say, what you backed, we want to change. Do you still want to back it? Or here's your money back and we're going to redo the Kickstarter, and then you decide you want to re-Kickstart it or something like that. I don't know.
There's only 2 projects on Kickstarter that I have been very disappointed in. That did not become what I was told they would be.
Mm-hmm.
That we were promised one thing and we're getting another, and both of them are video games. One of them, Mighty Number 9. The original concept of that game, and I know we've laughed and joked about how crappy the game is, but the original concept of the game, what we were promised, was amazing. It was awesome. You're going to be able to amalgamate enemies, and it's going to change the physical characteristics of Number 9, and you're going to use it to get through stages and fight bosses. That's what we wanted. What did we get? A crappily done Mega Man ripoff that was way late and was actually on store shelves at exactly the same time backers got it. Now Hatch Tales, it's, hey, we're going to bring the bird and the worm over. It's going to be a simple port. We're going to have a great time making levels together. It's going to be awesome. Oh, and we're going to throw in some extra tracks by Grant Kirkhope. That was what we were sold. That's what we were told we were getting. Now we're not getting that. Well, I guess we're getting that, but we're also getting this campaign and this like Mutant Muds guys in there.
We're not getting Chicken Wiggle port. We're getting a Hatch Tales based on Chicken Wiggle.
With Hawk the whatever as an added campaign.
Right. So
well, here's the deal.
Again, Infrendo in the chat.
Infrendo says Number 9 took a Number 2.
He did, and the funny thing about it is there's a robot in there named Number 2. He should have been a shovel robot anyway. The deal is that I will believe the March 28th release date when the game is on my Switch.
Yeah,
on the 29th.
What I've learned from this is that Jules cannot do another Kickstarter. He does not have the expertise to market it or plan it. He needs to have somebody help him with the planning with this stuff, especially managing the money, apparently. So it's like you got to stay within scope of what you offered.
So this tentative release date is 1 week shy of the 6-year anniversary of its funding.
Where's the soundbite, Jesse? Where's the sad soundbite?
Again, I'm glad he was able to come out and give a date and make it a big, deal and explain things like he did. That took a lot. So I give him that for sure. Does it make me happy? I like I said, I'm glad that part. I'm still disappointed that I didn't get what I originally backed.
May I diverge for just a minute because we didn't have a lot of news. There's times when you as a leader have to come out and, for lack of a better term, eat the crap sandwich. That's what's there. That's what's being served. You have to eat the crap sandwich. Here's a great example of that. And I know probably people are like, oh God, I hate it when Marty talks about wrestling, but I don't care. It's my podcast. When AEW just did the largest wrestling show in the world back in August, they did AEW All In. As some of you heard us talk about back on an episode of the show right after that, there was an incident there involving a wrestler by the name of CM Punk. I like CM Punk. There's a lot of people who like CM Punk. I like to watch him wrestle. I like his personality. I like to hear him talk. He was great at what he did. The problem is that, as my good friend Mikey Burgett says, who is on the Screen Nerds podcast, and he's a great listener of the show, he said, CM Punk is great. Phil Brooks is awful. Phil Brooks is, the real person. CM Punk is the character. So after an investigation, keep in mind here, they had a pay-per-view a week after that show where this incident went down. The pay-per-view is in Punk's hometown, right? The pay-per-view is pretty much built around the premise that Punk is coming back to Chicago. They even have like the same little stars designs he used. It's the Chicago flag. He used it on his tights, did all that. They had that on the set, did all that. On the Saturday, I think it was the Saturday before. It was the Saturday before the pay-per-view. They had done this investigation, and they had grounds to fire CM Punk with cause immediately to terminate his contract. AEW posted a little blurb on their social media, kind of like developers do, a word about Cyberpunk, and it's going to be delayed or whatever.
Yellow paper.
Anytime somebody says a word about their game, now it's like, it's a delay. So they put that out, and then they put out a more formal statement, and so they could have left that there, right? They could have just said he's fired, he's terminated, disseminated over socials. Great. No. The next night at the pay-per-view, before the pay-per-view went on air, Tony Khan, the owner of AEW, All Elite Wrestling, went out in front of Punk's hometown crowd and broke the news to them that had the ones that had not heard, and they booed this man. If boos could kill somebody, he would have been dead 3 or 4 times over. And he did not come out and be a jerk about it. He did not come out and be ugly about it. He just said, here's what happened. Here's what we had to do. I apologize to you, but the show goes on. And sometimes that my whole point in that is he didn't have to go out in front of those people. He could have let that internet, the little blurb on All Elite's Twitter, he could have let that be the thing. He could have put out an email to all the media and said, here you go, this is what's happening. And he could have hid in the back all night, but he came out and he ate the crap sandwich so that nobody else had to. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people went on and said that All Out, which was the name of that pay-per-view, was one of the best shows that AEW has ever done, even without CM Punk.
My boss calls that falling on your sword.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's had to do it a few times. I've had to do it a few times with work. It happens. I would say this: every good leader will at times fall on their sword. I've explained it this way to the people I lead, is that sometimes you have to say you're sorry for something that you didn't do. Yep.
And it just makes people feel better. But in this case, there's a lot in that email, in that development diary, there's a lot of things that they did do that nobody ever said sorry for. And that's poor leadership. And so I agree with you, Tim. I don't think that a TUI ever needs to do another Kickstarter. That's a bad idea. Because where's the faith? Nobody's going to have faith in them. And early on in this campaign, Jules, every month, look, 6 years worth of crap sandwiches have been served up for Chicken Wiggle, right? 6 years. When he changed the name to Hatch Tales, this decision was already made. He could have ate the crap sandwich right there. And he could have got it over with. And he could have used 3 out of the 6 years of development of this game to restore faith in him and Atui and this game. But he didn't. And so, do you think, like, I've seen the campaign people saying, like, they're not even going to, like, redeem their games. They're just going to throw the code away.
I wouldn't blame them.
So, what do you think this does for Hatch Tales? Where do you think it, like, is it even going to be a blip on the radar when it finally comes out?
Well, I think a lot of the people who might be interested in buying it probably doesn't even know about all this drama. So it's not going to affect their decision whatsoever.
That's true. That's a good point, Jesse.
It'll be a different game. It'll be marketed different, and hopefully he makes the money he needs to make from it, or TUI makes the money it needs to make from it to continue on. I don't want to see them end. It was a mistake they made. It sucks. I don't like it. I don't like how it was handled. But they can.
Yeah, I don't want anybody's like life ruined over.
Right. I want him to recover and learn from it, and hopefully not make the same mistakes again. Will I support him on another Kickstarter? No, I will not.
I will wait till the game comes out.
Yes, I will wait till the game comes out. Let somebody else back it that may not know about this experience. So, but there are plenty of games that Tui has worked on that I would love to play, see a sequel of, or even if he gets the rights to some of those Renegade Kid games and can do those, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because he's got a great set of games. He's an awesome person. Just business wise, as a customer, he did not make the right choices for me, disappointed. And I'm still going to try it. I paid for the stuff, so I'm still wondering about some of the reward side of things. Like, did he lose total amount of money for that? Is he going to be able to support that or not? Or am I going to get an email saying, look, we are going to have the game, you're going to get this, but we can't give you what, these other things. I don't know if that's ever been done before. Just, I'm looking forward to seeing what that is. I hope Hatch Tales is what he wanted, that vision he wanted, and is an awesome game the way he wanted it, and people enjoy it. And even I hope I will too, but it's just not Chicken Wiggle what I thought I would get on the Switch.
Yeah. We're ending up we're not getting what we thought we would get.
Yeah. So,
and that's kind of disappointing. So, well, guys,
no more on that until we get the game and play it. So
yeah, we're not talking about it again unless there's just some preposterously bad blunder between now and then. Then we'll talk about that. But until then,
true.
We're not.
Very true. And it sounds that's quite probable.
You never
I
know.
Hope not. Please, I don't want it to be.
I don't either. I don't either. Well, guys,
I don't either. But history is history, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's take a quick ad break for a moment from our good friends over at Manscaped.
Hockey season is back, and we're gearing up for some icy action. But before you hit the rink, make sure you look ready with the real all-star of the league, the Handyman by Manscaped. This dual-action foil shaver is your ultimate power play against unruly facial hair. It'll have your face as smooth as freshly Zambonied ice. Get 20% off and free shipping with code NINDADS at manscaped.com. And again, 20% off plus free shipping with NINDADS at manscaped.com. Hockey season is back, and just like your favorite team's power plays, it's time to gear up for some smooth moves on your face. Introducing the Handyman by Manscaped, the ultimate face shaver for hockey fans. This shaver is so smooth that it'll make you feel like you just pulled off a hat trick on your beard. Share funny grooming stories with your co-host, which we will do at some point because we're still waiting for our shavers, these new Handyman things. So we'll give you guys all an update on what we think about those things. But until then, we'll share we'll show their stories then. But the Handyman's dual action foil shaver blades adjust to your face's contours like a perfect deck on the ice, a perfect deke on the ice. With skin safe technology, the Handyman ensures a comfortable and reduced Nick's grooming experience. Whew, these words. No more penalties for rough shaving or missed spots. Manscaped Handyman is here to make sure you're always at your smoothest. Get yours today and experience the game-changing difference. And don't forget, get 20% off and free shipping with the code NINDADS at manscaped.com. That's NINDADS at manscaped.com for free shipping and 20% off your order. Back to you.
All right, let's discuss something we think is pretty cool. Several of us on the show already use products from Human Things, or Genki, as most people know them. And they just opened up a brand new Kickstarter for the Alpine Collection, which is the Shadowcast 2 Pro and the Covert Dock 2. as well as the Shadowcast 2, which all now come in like see-through kind of smoky plastic and white to match your OLED and your PS5 and your Xbox Series S. And so you can head over to Kickstarter.com and just Google Genki Kickstarter. It's the first one that came up. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time that the Shadowcast 2 Pro has been offered. Am I right about that?
I think these are all three are new products, aren't they?
All three are new.
Two of them are upgraded versions of previous products, and the Shadowcast 2 Pro is a new product.
Yeah, so Shadowcast 2 Pro is meant to be a pass-through 4K 60 frame per second capture card that runs via USB. It has direct HDMI pass-through.
Like, it's supposed to be comparable to this the 4K 60S Plus from Elgato that I have.
Yep. It will also, it says that they will, since the PS5 and the Xbox Series S and X have had system updates to implement HDR, that they'll be able to do that as well. And you can use the Shadowcast 2 to actually be able to hook your console to a TV and to your iPad or MacBook and use that as a screen to be able to play with, so that you could potentially carry this along with you on trips and make it a pass-through, so that could work there. Of course, the dock, the Covert Dock 2 is a pass-through, so that you don't have to carry your Switch dock with you. I have been using and am still using the original Genki Covert Dock as the main pass-through for my Switch when I stream and record, and it has been an invaluable tool. I've been thinking about the Covert Dock Mini just to have in my backpack to carry with me, but I'll probably just back this Covert Dock 2 because it does have some other upgrades. And I know people, the first thing they're going to ask is, do we have to worry about bricking with this? Because I know that was a concern with earlier Switch portable docks. This has the reputation of being the most reliable dock alternative other than Nintendo's dock, according to Ars Technica. And again, I've been using mine for years, literal years. It's gone everywhere with me. And it is fantastic. Now, the Shadowcast 2, not the Pro, but just the Shadowcast, is the original kind of pass-through that will allow you to use your iPad as a monitor, but it does need a dock. You can actually plug that into, Tim's showing you right now for our audio.
I have the original video.
You plug it into the HDMI port in your Switch. You run a USB-C cable to your iPad, and you use the Genki app that's there, and it becomes a monitor. You can do the same thing for your MacBook or any laptop.
I've been using it with, I tried it out with my Chromebook and it worked perfectly fine. And because I was wanting to see about being able to have like a portable setup like that. And it was really
there
cool.
much lag with it? Because I tried using it through.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit.
To my PC, and I was getting some pretty significant lag. So I
would say try it again. Mine. Try it again because they've done some updates and stuff like that. I was not getting any lag.
I'll try it again with the new device that I
Yep.
Okay. That I did.
So
with the Kickstarter, you can get, if there's only one item you want out of the three, you can do that. They have combinations to get any two of the three, or you can get all three if you want.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Then as part of the checkout for that. And then as part of the checkout process, you're able to add in like additional units of their old and their new product. So if you want to get all three of these plus the original Shadowcast or the original Covert Dock, you can do that too.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Shadowcast 2 starts right now, early bird at $39. It's normally going to be $50. The Covert Dock 2 starts at $49, which is a normal price of $60, which is a pretty good price. The portable creator kit starts at $85, which will normally be $110, and that is the Shadowcast 2 and the portable dock. The Shadowcast 2 Pro is a super affordable $119. Normally $160, which will still be pretty affordable anyway for a capture card that claims to do what they say it's going to do. You can also get that's the early bird price. If you don't get in on the early bird price, it's $129. The 4K creator kit, it has the portable dock and the Shadowcast Pro, and then you can get all of them for $200.
I think as of time of recording, the early bird Shadowcast 2 Pro only has 77 units left out of its 500, and all of the other early birds have already gone.
Yep, there was an early bird collection for $188.
And that's what I got.
That's what I got too.
I did not get that. I'm just probably getting the dock. Like I don't need another capture card. I've got the original Shadowcast and barely used it. But this is really cool. I love that they continue to innovate. Yes. Nintendo kind of shot them in the foot by enabling Bluetooth headphones on the Switch after they had done the Genki audio adapter. Right. But it's good that did not kill them, and it didn't dissuade them.
And you can still order that if you want in that checkout.
Yeah, you could.
That was in the list.
So these are just products that we love, and they've been really good to us to be able to use our Switch in ways that maybe weren't originally intended. So we wanted to throw those out there and let you know that Kickstarter is live. It's already almost it's over $400,000 on its way to 500,000 with 28 days left. So that's crazy. So with that being said, let's talk about some events. And of course, when we talk about events, we remind you each and every time about the table, which is the third Friday of every month at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's where the community gets together to discuss whatever's on anybody's mind. If you want to join in, you have to subscribe to us via Patreon or Twitch. So patreon.com/NintendoDads to get into that and get in our Discord. Or you can throw your Twitch Prime subscription our way each month and you get access to the Discord. And also the schwack load of other stuff like Monthly Mayhem that we're going to talk about here and On Topic Retro. Dads After Dark events this month coming up is the third annual Halloween Mayhem. And so details for that will be announced really soon. November will be another Monthly Mayhem announcement. December will be the second annual Presents After Dark Secret Santa, which is awesome, and you should be a part of it. And then January, the Chubby's Bracket Round 2, so we can blast away those holiday pounds because we probably need to. On the Retro Rewind side of things, this month's On Topic Retro is Joy Mech Fight, which is now available for the Nintendo's the NES app on Nintendo Switch Online. You can go to the Retro Rewind On Topic channel in our Discord and use the link to sign up by today. So that means today, if you're hearing this on the day it was released, September 28th, you have to sign up by today. Best of 3 fights wins, and the game, again, it's included there, and matches will be played on NSO as well. So be sure you've got a good, stable internet connection, and you're ready for that if you sign up. We, at this time, want to share a message with you guys from our friends over at Game Pass News, Sean and Nick. And so, Jesse, you've got that, right?
Yep.
Let's play.
Hey, Nintendo Dads family. By now, you've probably heard that the Game Pass News transformation to Game Pass Tracker is complete. We are super excited to share with you that our first show will be live on October 10th, just in time for me to get everything I need to know about Forza Motorsport 7 and have a really good go at it. Our transformation to Game Pass Tracker means that Game Pass News, unfortunately, will be leaving the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. We cannot thank the Nintendo Dads enough for all their support and for allowing us the opportunity to start this journey with Game Pass News.
If it wasn't for them and the amazing community that they have grown here, Sean and I would not have met, let alone went on a 3.5 year and 2 podcast journey. Though our humble podcast will be leaving the NDAD family, you can always know that Sean and I will still be a part of the NDAD community. We hope you'll come over and take a listen to the new Game Pass news, Game Pass Tracker. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so if you didn't catch all that, and you're like, what? Game Pass News, Game Pass Tracker, what the heck's going on? Yeah, so Game Pass News is joining Game Pass Tracker, which was a website. Now they've started their own podcast, and they asked Sean and Nick to lead that, so which is awesome for them, and we could not be more happier for them.
Absolutely. So we're asking you guys to give them some support. Go follow them. Go check their new show out beginning on October 10th. It's going to be a great thing for them, and we appreciate them being part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts for a while. And again, once you're family, you're family.
Yes.
And so you don't get out unless we kill you.
You're still in, even if we killed you.
You're still in. You're still in. You can't get it. You'll never get away from us. We wish you the best of luck, and we love you guys. Also, we want to look, if you are in Seattle or near Seattle, the Seattle Aquarium is opening a brand new Animal Crossing's New Horizons themed experience on October 7th that will run through December 31st. This is really cool. I'm super jealous. I can't go. You can see sea otters, harbor seals, octopi, and hundreds of species of fish. There's an Animal Crossing's New Horizons photo opportunity and featuring an aquarium themed background with characters from the game. Also themed creature descriptions presented by Blathers with information directly from the game. Standees of familiar characters from the game throughout the aquarium near a wide variety of habitats. A bingo scavenger hunt available via smart device. And this is really the first time an experience like this in an aquarium has been available in North America, which is really cool. I think it's neat that Nintendo's leaning into some more stuff like this. I just wish they would have leaned into some more content for Animal Crossing.
Just a little bit.
Say that.
Just a little bit more. That's all.
Yeah. And we just want to remind you guys, too, that Extra Life is on the horizon coming up in just about a month in November. We are finalizing our plans for this year, and we'll be announcing those in the coming weeks. So if you would like to join up on Team Nintendo Dads, you can head over to nintendodads.org, and you'll find a link there to our Extra Life campaign, and you can become part of the team. And we would love to have you whenever you're doing Extra Life, however you're doing Extra Life, whether it's video games, board games, or whatever level goal you have. So head on over to nintendodads.org. You can check it out over there. Now, let's take a timeout.
I love it. I love that noise. All right. So I'm going to talk. I think I'm the only one that has a timeout this week, and it is for the cracked Nitro deck, which I have right here. And I did a unboxing of it.
I'm super jealous.
I pre-ordered it as soon as I found out about it, but not in time to be able to get the limited edition ones that were done by Limited Run. This is also a limited edition, the cracked one. I got the Super NES one, which has the American Super NES purple.
Nice.
So, or North American version, I guess, because Canada got stuck with the purple too, didn't they? So. But yeah, it's basically you slide in your Switch tablet into it and use the controller as if it was plugged into the bottom of the Switch. So I've been only using it for a little bit.
That was my question. Is the plug on the bottom, or is it plug in the rails like a Joy-Con?
Yeah, it plugs into the bottom in the USB-C port of the Switch. Okay. You have to turn on wired controller capability of the Switch in order to use it. There's a setting in your there in the controller settings to do that. And so far it feels great. It's light, so it doesn't add a lot of extra weight. It has extra buttons in the back, like you have on a Pro controller. It has
and elite controllers.
Yes, elite controllers. It has a single kickstand, but it's got a nice sturdy kickstand. It has two USB-C ports, one for charging and one for connecting if you wanted to use it as a controller to your dock. So when you dock your Switch to the dock, it's not wireless, so you have to use a wire to run to your dock, and you can use this as a controller. So if you
I imagine that would be awkward using it as a controller without the Switch in the system.
Yeah.
It'd be very light controller.
I have the capability here if I'm sitting at my desk to do that, but not if I'm at the TV. So I probably won't be using it there. I'll probably still be using my Pro controller. But like I said, I've only had it for maybe 24 hours out of the box. There is an unboxing and first look at it out on our channel, or will be tomorrow. I think it goes out, or I guess by the time you're listening to this on the podcast, if you're not watching live. I will have to say though, this product has one of the coolest unboxing experiences I've had in a long time with the device. And why is that? Is because the Cracked company has an app, because this is not the only accessory they're going to come out with. This is their first one, but their app allows you to connect with your accessory and find out what numbered edition of your device you have. So because there's a certain a quantity of these, like this limited edition ones. This is a limited edition, they call it classic gray controller, and there were 3,900 something of these made, and I have 908 edition, and which is, they have 3 levels of like common, uncommon, and rare, or common and rare and rarest. And because it's, I guess, within the first 1,000, I got the rarest level, which is really cool. And I posted that on Twitter. So it was really cool how they presented it though, because you open the app, you scan it, and you can set it to share if you wanted to, so that you can share that your face when you get to see the number and all that kind of stuff. And it does this whole like cinematic entrance of what version number you've got. It was really cool. It was really fun to do. It is nothing like NFC. It is not an NFC or anything like that. It's not a digital collection. You actually have this, obviously, and it's got an NFC reader on the back so that you can read it to the app, but it's not one of those the images, the digital image thing. So it was really
NFTs.
Cool. NFTs. Sorry, I said NFCs. They're NFTs. It's not an NFT. So, but yeah, again, check out the video once it launches, by the time you're probably listening to this, and let me know if you get one, or if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them. So that's my timeout for this week. Let's go to what we've been playing. All right, guys, we've all been playing Sea of Stars. So any new updates on what you're doing? I know, Jesse, you talked about your funny experience with your son about one of the characters. But
yeah, I
didn't.
I still didn't. I didn't spoil the joke. So if anyone who is still playing the first 10 hours or 12 hours or so, they'll be able to experience that for themselves. So again, now without spoiling details, I have access to the boat, and maybe have played maybe an hour after that.
Okay.
And and again, based on that first joke reference I made at the start of the show, I made it that let me get back to the beginning island and open a shrine that I didn't have access to early game to get. It was like I learned a new combo move, and then it brought me to another scene where a light went out. I'm like, okay, there's multiple shrines that I gotta find to unlock them all. I'm guessing. I don't know yet, but and now this is like the first fork in the plot. I can choose to go back to the start to get that, or I can choose to continue the main path. So I went back to the home island first, and now I'm just getting to that the island off the ship where that'll continue the plot.
That's the same path I took, and which is funny because I've been playing probably longer than you have, but I think you've caught up to me.
Oh,
so, or you're getting close to it.
Whereas I have not played Sea of Stars at all.
Oh, I thought you did.
I last talked about. No, I mean I.
Oh,
no,
at all
I
since the last time you turned.
Okay. It's okay. Like since the last time that we talked about it, I made it to where Jesse is. Okay. But I had to quit like at the point of getting the ship. Like I did that, and we're good. That was a fun fight.
Yeah, it was.
It was hard. The boss?
Yeah. That was
Pirates?
Yep, that was fun.
Yeah. So I've turned on all of the easy mode options. So
I have too. So, but well, I have easy mode. Like the only thing I've got turned on is the restore health after every battle. But this was the first fight that really challenged me. Like that I was like, oh, I might lose this.
Yeah. I haven't had to heal much, but with that fight, I did have to spend.
Had to use all your food.
Healing. I haven't actually used food, but I used the combo heal.
Yes,
between the two Solstice Warriors too.
Yeah,
that normally kept me up. That normally kept my life up enough.
Yeah, what helped me there was the heal and the protection.
So let me ask you this:
I haven't used the protection one yet.
Since we've all done this fight, when you made it to this fight, who was your party by this point? 2 Solstice Warriors plus we'll just call it Cook or Ninja.
I prefer the assassin, though you can swap them in and out. You know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Which one do you?
Yeah, but I'm using the assassin more than the Cook.
Yeah.
I find that I use the assassin more because usually the combos you have to do to nullify their power move, it involves those skulls. So
that's exactly right.
And so I end up having to use assassin anyways, even if I want to keep the cooker.
It's been a good game. It's been a good game. You know, this next week I'm on fall break from school, so maybe I will catch up.
You might even beat it. So
I might. Yeah, who knows? Well, how about I go first then? Speaking of beating games,
sure, go for it.
That's the one game we were playing together. I finished Gunbrella, and which is it's not a terribly long game. It's probably about 6 or 7 hours. I don't know that I did it 100%, but I did get a lot of extra little side questy things done, including yeah, well, I don't know. That might be spoilery territory, so I won't do that. But here's my thoughts on Gunbrella. I enjoyed the game. It was not what I thought it would be at all. If you played Gunbrella, then you kind of know what I'm talking about. It takes a turn and goes into a very different. I don't know. Like it's just a very different story than I expected. It's good. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. It's Devolver, and Devolver don't miss. So, but I really enjoyed the platforming action aspects of the game, especially in the end game where you're really putting everything together. But it ends really abruptly. Like it was like, and one thing that I really liked about this game was that it did a great job of like keeping you where you needed to be. And I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but like there's not a lot. It's not limited, but there's also not a lot of option. Like, you know, like there's maybe like 5 locations in the game, right?
Right.
Besides the end game. But yeah, and it kind of ended for me like I described it to someone else as it was the video game equivalent of finishing Breaking Bad. And what I mean by that is like you just know that you've like experienced something really quality and really good, but it's really depressing. Does that make sense? Like it's like you can't just go, oh man, what a great ending. It's kind of like Iconoclast is the same way. Like Iconoclast is a fantastic.
I was going to say it's like Tears of the Kingdom, but y'all wouldn't know about that.
Well, nope, because I've stalled out. I'm probably gonna. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna get back into that. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, Gunbrella.
You'll get back to it when it's like, oh, you know what? I want to play that.
I'll probably get back to it with like when I'm like, oh yeah, I probably need to beat that before I get a new Switch. I don't know. I would highly recommend Gunbrella though.
2027.
Sure. The other game that I've sunk a lot of time into is Mortal Kombat 1. And no, I'm not playing it on the Switch.
That was going to be my first question.
I knew better. I got it on PS5 and it's incredible. Finished up the story mode this week and it's schlocky B-movie-esque plot, but it's so much fun. And it just feels so good to play. They fixed a lot of things that from Mortal Kombat 11 that I didn't like. Like one of the things really from Mortal Kombat 11 that I didn't like was that the combos were very unforgiving. It was like the inputs for those, like, and even like there's parts of the tutorial I can't even finish because in 11 because I can't make my hands do that, or I'm doing it, but it's not picking it up. You know, like my timing's off. So there's a lot of that I feel like is fixed in Mortal Kombat 1. I really love the invasion mode, which is like after you do the story, which you don't even have to finish the story to get into it, but invasion mode is like World of Light, but with Mortal Kombat. So you're moving around this map and you're fighting, and there's different like different rules put on each fight, like how, hey, there may be a bat that flies by and shoots flames, and if you get hit by it, you get set on fire for a minute. There's modifiers to your fighter where you can have like lightning powers or add fire to your punches or something. There's items that you can use, and this is just in the first one. And that you like the whole time you're unlocking different things, you're unlocking different skins, you're adding to the game. And then that's on top of everything else. What I do not really like about Mortal Kombat 1 is there's absolutely no reason for the cameo fighters. There's no reason, they're not explained at all in the story. Like you're sitting there and you're like, why is Robot Sector in this universe? Nobody ever explains it.
Yeah.
Seriously. Why is there a Scorpion I can play and he can have Scorpion as like you can have Scorpion. Like he can be your cameo and your character. Like why did they not bring in other characters from the Mortal Kombat universe? Why did some characters just get cameos and not get featured? But my boy Reptile is back in the game and he is awesome. Nice. That's my main. I love Reptile, have always like Mortal Kombat 2. That was my dude. He's back. Love it. The game is gorgeous. The fatalities are completely over the top. Disgusting. It's everything it's like everything Mortal Kombat should be. The voice acting is good except for Megan Fox because she's a train wreck. And it's so bad. Okay. If you played 11, she's like beyond Ronda Rousey levels of bad in this game. It's terrible. But thankfully she doesn't have any lines. But anyway, I would recommend it.
Did you hear what IGN gave the Switch port of this game?
Yes, a 3. I know they're going to try to fix it too, but I'm not hopeful. I give it, I would say I recommend the game. I don't know that I went in on the full package. I got everything. So I'm going to get all the DLC characters, all that stuff. I bought the $100 version, which is stupid.
Omni-Man.
Yeah. I really just, I don't know.
I think he's a fun character because you have the people who are like, yes, Omni-Man in the game is cool, that's awesome, and you have the other people who are like, Who the hell is Omni-Man?
I also hope that he's voiced by his voice actor.
I hope so too. He better be.
And he needs to yell something about Spider-Man in there at some point.
That I doubt, but
or he needs to say,
oh, I know where you're going with that. I need to find my button.
Do you know who I am?
yeah, he's Omni-Man. Anyway, I don't know that I would recommend like the whole like shebang version like I got, but I am an idiot. I bought it.
Beer said there was a fatality to your wallet.
There may be a fatality in my being later on if my wife ever finds out how much it costs.
So kind of like two people asked the same question, who's your favorite fighter / who's your main?
Reptile right now. The other character I really enjoy playing as is Lee May. Just because I love her style. Like all of her special moves like have something to do with like fireworks. So like there's like explosions going off around her and
so she's Jubilee with Kung Fu.
Yeah, kind of. And it's awesome. It works. Almost all the characters that I've played as through the story, and that's another thing is the story doesn't have you play as all the characters. Like you never play as Katana. So she's in there, but you never play as her. Like all the characters I played at, they were all varied, but I had fun with them. I feel like any of them could become a main for me. But and it's because one of the things I love that they did for all the special moves is they pretty much just simplified inputs. So it's either back forward or back down or down forward for most special moves.
So kind of back to the original Mortal Kombat.
Right.
Play.
Yes.
Because I was pretty good at the original arcade and MK2. And then MK3 when they started adding the weird combos and that extra did they add an extra button, a 6 button?
The run button.
Yeah, I didn't like the run button.
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of fell out of the franchise.
I would really, really love it if we could get Mortal Kombat 2 on a modern console. Like just
re-release the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Yep. I would.
Yeah, you weren't here, and I was saying because we were talking about the Mortal Kombat 1 experience on the Switch, and we were talking about how that they probably shouldn't have brought it to the Switch, at least this iteration of it, maybe brought it later to the Switch 2, and did a Mortal Kombat trilogy to bring. So
yeah, they could have done this. They could what would have been really cool is if they had done like more, because really they're all a contained story. If you go back, if they had done Mortal Kombat 10, 11, and 1 as the new trilogy, that for the new Switch, that would have been because this story is new. Like this is meant to be like a kickoff point for a brand new line of Mortal Kombat, but it does go back to the old one.
Yeah, it's kind of like a reboot, but
wibbly wobbly.
I will say this
it's
without
a multiversal reboot that still has previous timelines intact.
Without spoiling anything, the final chapter of the story mode is probably one of my favorite things that has come out of video games in 2023.
Nice.
And because I can't talk about it because it'll spoil it for somebody. I don't want to do it because it was so anyway.
You can talk about it in your Game of the Year discussions.
Sure. Sure. I love it because I want to go back and play it again and see if it's different. Because I will say this for the final end game, like up till then, you have played as set characters. Like, okay, for this chapter, you're playing Raiden. For this chapter, you're playing Liu Kang. When you get to the final chapter, you choose your fighter. Like it pops up and it's like choose your fighter. Like the game. And so the actual end game cinematic and final chapter is different based on who you pick.
Okay.
And I'm
So
wanting
replayability?
It maybe, and I want to see if I want to see if it changes what happens in that chapter.
Right.
I'll find out this week. We'll see. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Gunbrella, Mortal Kombat.
Fantastic. All right. I guess I'll go. I'll talk about what I've been playing. On PC, more Baldur's Gate 3 with Sam and Shannon. We would get together like once a weekend, like I mentioned before, and just play a few hours of that through the story. So, and this past weekend, we had a lot of fun, even though I kept trying to kill my teammates with magic.
Like
there were certain,
like a fireball in a small room type of thing, or
kinda,
something
yeah,
else.
exactly. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly that. It's like I was trying to use a thunder wave, and for whatever reason, it wasn't clicking in my head. This is like the third time I think I've used this spell and didn't realize that it's not. It's a zone.
It's an
thing.
area. It's an
area
effect. Area effect instead of a target
within range of me. It's like it shows that it'll damage.
Is it like a cone?
It's a box. That's right in front of me that it will affect anything that's in that box. However, it also shows like when I'm trying to aim it, thinking I'm aiming it at somebody far away, it shows this arch, that I'm thinking like, oh, it's gonna go over and hit this person, and then like it's like, no, I just yeeted my teammates off the side and hurt them because of the spell hits them right because they're right next to me. So it's like after that third time, I was like, okay, I think I finally got it. Don't use this spell unless I have somebody right in front of me that's not my teammates. I'm not going to use this spell.
Everybody stand back.
Yeah. So I have a wizard. So right now I'm pretty weak. I feel compared to Shannon and Sam's characters. But every now and then I get a good hit with my missile magic, if you will. So, and I got some pretty cool looking armor though too. So I'm hoping that, because the reason why I picked wizards is because usually I feel like as they progress, they usually get stronger as they get to higher levels. So that's what I'm hoping for. Get better spells, more spells. We hit level 5 recently. We're getting closer to 6, and I got a good amount of spells. It's just a matter of learning how to use them. I don't play it enough on my own. I've just been playing with these guys a few hours every week. So I think it's starting to click with me though, the more we play. And hopefully I won't kill my teammates and I'll be able to actually kill our enemies instead.
That's a bonus.
Yes. Of course, we talked about Sea of Stars. I've been playing that on PS5. And then on the Switch, more Animal Crossing New Horizons still. It's just getting back into that, it's such a relaxing game. That's the game I usually been playing when I go to bed. I lay there, do a set up somebody in the Happy Home Maker thing, whatever it's called, the island one.
Happy Home Designer.
Yeah. That part where I have a job, I go do my one job, get my coin, and then leave. So, but I do have another goal too in Animal Crossing. I still have yet to complete all the art in my art museum. So I'm still waiting to get Red to give me the right things and all that kind of stuff. So slowly but surely, I've been getting the pieces I'm missing. I think I got about 6 or 7 pieces missing. So hopefully before I am back to being tired of playing it again, I'll have that collection done. So, and I'm over 750 hours in Animal Crossing. So, hey.
Beer asks, how did the turnips turn out from last week?
Oh, I got over 2.1 million bells I was able to sell. So
nice.
I got a good influx of coin in my bank account now. Replenish some of the stuff I've been buying. I got enough bells in my bank account now to where I go randomly into the shop and will pick random things to make some crazy outfit out, buy it and walk out, and just that'll be my outfit for the week. Or until I find the next crazy outfit to put on.
Just like a real rich person.
Yeah, I'm eccentric, so I gotta wear some crazy stuff. The other game I've been playing is Ugly. I think I talked about that before. Still continuing to play that one. There is a video first look at that we have on there. Again, that's using mirror puzzle elements, gameplay mechanics for you to control yourself through a mirror and be able to get to different places on the board to solve puzzles, which I thought was really cool. It's another good game to just kind of play and get the brain working. A game that I just did a video for that I think that the first look will drop maybe tomorrow or Saturday is Faerie Afterlight. It is a Metroidvania game that we saw over the summer in a lot of showcases, I think, or a couple showcases. It uses an Indonesian art style and music, but you're basically this little blob that uses a fairy to solve kind of platformy type traversal puzzles in the environment you're in, but it is also Metroidvania, excuse me, and it's basically you got to power up in order to get to the next area. I just played probably about the first boss, I think. And I still got a lot more. I was hoping in the first look to be able to get to the point where I can unlock a skill, but I didn't get to that point yet because there's a skill tree in there, it looks like. But I was able to do like the first 30 minutes of the game, and I think that was pretty good to get a first look in case you're interested in that. Anybody, again, that's Faerie Afterlight. So check that one out. And then one I have on deck that I'm hoping to play this weekend is called Neon Blight. We got a code for that, and I didn't take it yet because I had the Faerie Afterlight, but after doing that first look, I figured I'd take a first look at Neon Blight. It is a roguelike game where you're the shop owner and sell weapons to other cyberpunk characters, and you have to fight against other corporate type companies that sell weapons or whatever and stuff like that, and then upgrade your weapons that you sell. You go out and collect things to sell. But I'm learning more. I got to learn more about the game as I play it. But I took the code because I thought it was an interesting kind of story arc going on there where you're the store owner, where people come buy weapons from you, but you also use some of those weapons to try to make your store better and also get rid of corporate corruption, I guess, from what I understand. So, and it's a steampunk type environment. So that's what's on deck. Cool. Yeah, I thought it sounded pretty cool too. So I'll be on the lookout for a first look on that and probably me talking about it in the next show. That's what I've been playing. How about you, Jesse?
Okay. So knowing that the Escape Academy was coming out on Switch with all the DLC, I'm thinking, okay, the DLC must have recently released on the PS5 version. So I went in and downloaded that to give it a play, and I found out, oh yeah, this released back in June. So good marketing. Good to letting us know that new content is available. Good job. But I did play through it. There was, I think, 5 puzzle rooms. Kind of, it's called the DLC is called Escape from the Past. You're basically playing as one of a pair of students of the school, not the same character. I don't think it was the same character you played as them in the main game, but again, I played that last year and I might have been maybe forgetting things. But one of the headmasters someone is trying to kill him, and he's tasking it on you to try to figure it out. And of course, during the play, there really isn't any real clues up until the last puzzle room, where you actually do find out what's going on and confront them about it. But yeah, it's so I was able to complete this one. I wasn't able to complete the first DLC. I don't remember what hung me up. I just remember one of the puzzles was basically a first-person minesweeper, which isn't fun.
Why not?
Because you're not, playing Minesweeper, you can still cursor all around the board and click wherever you want. But being in first person, you can't
You
just
gotta run around.
You can't just mosey on the board because you're going to get blown up. All right, so yeah, it was a good DLC pack, and so in general, I did like Escape Academy. So if all you have is a Switch, and I don't know if that's out yet or soon, but I'd say give that one a look. I thought it was pretty fun. Which of these two games to talk about next? Let's just say, so I talked about PokerStars VR in the past, and they, about a month ago, they rebranded to Vegas Infinite on all platforms, stating that they are going to put a PC version that doesn't require a VR. And that launched today. So I tried to download it, which is still a free download on Steam. I tried to launch it and got a black screen.
Boo.
So I opened a support ticket. I looked at the discussion boards, and I am not the only person with the problem. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I was hoping, because with the PC version, it does cross-play with the non-PlayStation VR headsets. So, because basically I want to do the multi-table tournaments. That's like really the one thing I want to do. And that isn't available in PSVR. Only a single-table tournament is available at any time. So I was hoping to be able to start playing on the PC, earn money to then sign up for MTTs. And yeah, so far all I see is a black screen.
Boo.
Okay, and then this last game it's debatable about whether I had a better or worse experience than just a black screen. It's Shark. So before I get into the game, little history.
Sorry.
No. Whatever the hell that was, no.
Baby shark.
Okay, definitely no. Okay, Shark was originally a game on the Intellivision back in '82, and I thought it was a fun game at the time. I remember putting a lot of hours into it and having fun with it. This is a game that was supposed to be an Amico launch title. Was one of the many games sold to BBG Entertainment, and which basically means that Intellivision doesn't even have rights to Intellivision games anymore. Mm-hmm. So yeah, another nail in that coffin. But this is the second game BBG has released that was going to be an Amico game and is now on an everything game. The first one was Dyna Blaster, which I think someone did a first look on last week on the channel. But we didn't get a code for this one. I paid for this one, and it's not that great. It's a game from the early 80s, built with decisions made due to the hardware restrictions, makes the game kind of charming. Not so much on the Switch. It's just
oh, come on.
It is more animated. There are changes in the gameplay where basically the gameplay is you're a fish in an ocean. You have to eat smaller fish to get bigger, so you can then eat bigger fish eventually. But you still have to be bigger than the fish that you're targeting. In the original game, if you got near a bigger fish, you're dead. Just like you can eat the NPC fish, they can eat you just as easy. This one, no. The normal fish will not attack you. You just bounce off of them. There is a shark, and the shark is pretty aggressive. Like you're still able to nibble at the tail to attack it, but I've never been able to do enough damage to take it out. I don't know how many hits are required, but he is more mobile in this version than he was in the original. So, yeah, and then they did add additional enemies, which is good. That's what I wanted. And sometimes they can get pretty annoying. Like there was one, they have these little jellyfish that if you hit it, you just get stunned and you can't move for a few seconds. I don't know if you can ever eat them, but then sometimes you see this giant electric eel swim by that will leave an electrical field in its wake that you cannot swim through until it dissipates. Otherwise, you'll get stunned in the same way.
Okay.
There was the last stage I was on had an orca in it that I thought wasn't, it wasn't an aggressive thing. It just kind of swam slowly. I thought I could still bump up against its back end, but no, I lost a life for that. I'm like, okay, that was weird. And there's a few other enemies that will actually attack you. Like one scene had this bird that would poke his head into the ocean and try to find you, or any fish.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, so it's weird. I wasn't expecting a bird.
Isn't Shark supposed to be more of a party game though? Like, would it be more fun with other people, couch co-op type thing?
This version can be played with up to 4 people. Of course, that was the Amico's main purpose.
Right.
So yeah, so the multiplayer aspect's still in there. I haven't had a chance to try that.
Okay.
There is multiple game modes. I was doing, I don't remember what they called it, but it was basically a story mode. I think it showed 12 stages. I got to stage 8 before I died. Basically, the first 4 levels, when you eat 30 fish, then you move on to the next. The next 4 stages, you have to go to 40 fish. And in each stage, you get 5 lives. So if you lose lives and then still finish the stage, you do get all your lives back.
Okay.
So I was able to get to the 8th stage in that game. And, initially they're locked. You can only start with stage 1. But since I've unlocked up to stage 8, I can start at stage 8 if I want. I don't have to play the whole game again just to get that far. I don't know if I will. Again, this...
It doesn't sound like you will.
No, like the multiplayer is meant, like a parent with younger kids to play together. That was the intent of the Amico. Not really fun for a single player.
Is it just local co-op?
I
or
presume so, because
not online.
Because the Amico didn't have online
that's
functionality.
right. Yeah, it was supposed to be.
It touted itself as being a return to the couch co-op.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I was gonna say, can anybody else join you online or something? But no. Okay. Just gonna have to get.
I can look and recheck the options next time I play to see if it is, but I bet I think it's local only. Yeah, let me check the page.
It does say he'll play with you.
It does say online 1 to 4, so maybe they did squeeze in online. And I think this game is not just on Switch. I think it's available everywhere.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I think it was $15. So not too much money. But again, it's not a great game for trying to play it by yourself.
All right. Makes sense. Well, I
That's
guess
what I
that's
got.
it. That's it for what we've been playing. We can move on to community spotlight, right, Marty?
Yep.
All right, we'll get through these questions because I know it's getting late for Marty. So actually, Jesse, let's play the voicemail first from Christian.
Okay.
Hey, Nintendo Dads, it's me, Christian. I just wanted to call and ask a question. The spooky season is upon us, so my house is definitely ready. Our haunted house for this year is going to be Yiga Clan themed and got all the stuff ready inside the garage. We planned everything out. Just a few things that I need to get sorted out, but anyways. Also got my Master Koga outfit figured out too. I made that whole thing myself. I'll make sure to post pictures on the Facebook page for you guys. But here's my question. My question is, which game are you guys afraid of playing that other people may think is not a scary game? For example, my game that I'm afraid of playing is Metroid Dread. Now, my friends and family, they can play Metroid Dread. Even my 10-year-old daughter, Tegan, plays Metroid Dread. But I can't get past literally the first 10 minutes because of those Emmys. And I am so afraid of those things. So tell me, guys, what's your game that you are afraid of playing that other people will say, that's ridiculous, you shouldn't be afraid? All right, guys, I hope you have a great day. Happy Halloween holidays to you guys, and I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
Before anyone answers, I want to say if you have Discord access, post those pictures in the Halloween mayhem that the Dads After Dark are hosting, because those will be fun.
Yes. Yeah, you might be able to win some prizes for that. So yeah, any games, guys, that you kind of scared to play?
I'm gonna
That
have
other
to think
people
about
might be
this
like,
one.
why are you scared to play that game?
Well, I'd say, I wouldn't say it's not because of the scaring, but dread. It's just because of the difficulty of getting around the Emmy. Like I couldn't get past the third one, the yellow one. I couldn't, I couldn't find a way around it. So when I dropped the game, I never went back to it. I don't
Oh, that's a bummer.
generally don't play spooky games. So if I think if it sounds like it's going to be spooky, I just won't touch it. So like Resident Evil, I mean, or whatever those games are. No. So I can't think of any game that isn't traditionally spooky that I won't play.
And then Friendo says chicken window wiggle. That's scary.
It is scary.
Well,
I
the
don't know either.
The development cycle might be.
I think mine goes back to like when I was a kid. Like I know it's not like it doesn't have jump scares or anything, but Castlevania used to scare the crap out of me. Like I would not play it at night. I love the game, but I still like even to this day, like when I play it, I feel a little weird. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't like a super scary thing, but I was afraid I would get scared. Right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Speaking of which, new Netflix series started today.
Oh. Okay.
I haven't watched it yet, but I plan on trying to get into it this weekend. Episode says King's Quest 3. I kept falling off the cliff and dying.
Friday the 13th in the darn paths. Those darn paths, Ninfrendo said. So
I know a game that had jump scares in it that I wasn't expecting, but it didn't make me stop playing was Arkham Knight.
Oh yeah.
There was a few jump scares in there. Coming to the Switch soon. Hopefully it looks better than Mortal Kombat 1.
Hopefully.
I don't have one where people are like, well, thinking that they disagree with it being scary. I have one that was actually scary. And we were speaking about, a Tui and Renegade Kid. specifically Renegade Kid, and that was Dementium for the DS, and I think they had the remake for the 3DS. But I didn't want to play that. I started playing it, but I didn't want to play it too much further in late at night or anything like that, because it was really creepy. So, but I think anybody else would agree with me on that, because it was, but maybe there's other people that may not, because it was a DS game, and they'd probably be like, the graphics weren't that scary.
Never heard of that one, but I'll note to not touch it if I ever see it.
And Friendo says it's coming to the Switch, apparently. I didn't know that.
Oh.
But Chewy got the rights to it.
Oh. Nice. Well,
now that's scary.
That is scary. I hope they don't put it on Kickstarter. I hope they get the backing to be able to put that out. So yeah, I couldn't think of anything
that's
else.
one hell of a coincidence.
Right. All right. Well, let's stick with the same theme here. Zablanc asks, got any October spooky games you're planning to play this year?
As I said, no.
I don't typically play games based on seasons or go back to games a lot, like a lot of people do. Because I know there's some people who are going to play, like friends of our show. They said they always go back and play certain games in October, right? So
yeah, I know Derek Bittner, formerly from Game Explained, now with Good Vibes Gaming. He traditionally plays Spooky Game October on a stream. Don't know if he still does that or not, but I know he used to.
Roger does too, right? He does his Spooky Game or something like that, like a Luigi's Mansion or something like that he's got to play all the time every year.
That wouldn't surprise me.
So,
and I don't really keep track of his streams much, because normally he's streaming while I'm working, so I can't pay attention.
For me, it's got to be like, okay, it's a new game that I want to play that fits that October theme. Then I'll be like, oh yeah, that's perfect for October. I'll play that. If I were to pick something, it's one that I haven't finished that I do want to go back to, hopefully one day. Who knows? It's in my backlog, and that's the Ghostbusters game that came out on the Switch. I had a lot of fun with that, and I would love to go back and finish that game.
I'm actually planning on going back to, at some point this month, Luigi's Mansion 3. It's been a long time since I played that. I know I'm going to enjoy it. So it's kind of like watching Star Wars, right? Like, I know I'm going to enjoy it. I'm looking forward to it. I hope I get some time with it.
Right.
It's been long enough that I've probably forgotten a lot of it. So
yeah,
I want to go back to that one.
Nice. That's a good one to go back to. I still have my Luigi's Mansion 2 on my 3DS. Maybe I could go back and finish that. I actually never finished that one there. So, all right. Let's go back to the top of the questions here. We got Alan, look to the cookie. Even though I love playing games, my wife does not. What exactly does your gaming look like on a night-to-night basis? The reason I ask is that typically when I play, it's on the Switch in handheld mode on the couch while she's either watching TV or working. I'm justifying it in my head because I'm in the same room, but I know it's not the same as engaging with her. Just wondering y'all's thoughts about this.
And I've talked about this before, that I don't have the traditional spousal stuff, or she basically, after dinner, even after work, I should say, most of the days she just does her thing in her room. I do my thing in my room, and then we just go to bed at the end of the night. Normally, still even that's different times. Like, she'll be in bed by 9, and I'll go show up at 1 in the morning. We normally will do our together time, say weekends, if we're both going to the same SCA event, or just working yard work together or something else on weekends. That's normally when we spend our together time. But during the week, generally, we kind of live separate lives in the same house. And I understand that's not normal, but that's what worked and has been working for us.
Well, Jesse, you just described what goes on between me and my wife too. It's kind of the same thing. So I don't know if it's normal either, but we do kind of the same thing where during the week we're kind of, we got a lot of work going on, and then we end up doing our own things after work, where she'll be listening to an audiobook and playing her games or whatever. And I'll be either finishing up work here or working on some Nintendo Dad stuff or playing my own games. Especially like Sea of Stars. This is where I play it. So I'll come in here, and sometimes she'll come in and sit on the couch that's over here, just so that we're kind of in the same room, but we're still doing our own things. And then every once in a while, especially with Ahsoka out, we will try to catch up on one of those together.
One episode left.
Yep. But just most of we have like 1 or 2 episodes to catch up on here this week, and that usually ends up being a weekend thing. So, but yeah, if there's a show we're watching, we'll get together and watch that together. We tend to watch football a lot of times, or I'm watching it and she's doing something else, just because she's not into football as much as I am.
I suggested that, she watch football with me sometime, and she goes, I am completely not interested.
So, but yeah, we're about the same, where it's like,
yeah, because
during the week
we had a conversation earlier this week about it, and I grew up in Minnesota or Kansas City. Both cities has a football team. She grew up mostly in Oklahoma. That doesn't. So sports has never been a priority, and she has no plans on making it one, and that's fine. But she knows that when the Chiefs are playing, that's what I want to do, is watch the game. Doesn't mean I always get to, but I want to.
I guess my answer is like a lot of y'all's, that typically when I'm playing games, Erin's on the couch next to me. She reads a lot. Like, she's finished, what did she tell me the other day? Like, I think it's 74 books this year.
Wow.
So she's a very avid reader. So she'll read, or she'll play a game on her iPad while I play. Yeah, sometimes 3 a week, depending on what she's reading and what we're doing. So, but a lot of times, like, if she's watching a show, I'm handheld. So anytime I'm playing Switch, I'm pretty much handheld but the only time I'm on gaming on the TV is when it's PS5. So a lot of handheld gaming going on in my life.
Yeah, same here. So especially if we are sitting in the same room and I'm in the living room with her, and she, like I said, most of the time she's listening to audiobook while she's playing her cozy game, and I'll be playing my own game on my Switch. So we'll be both in our own chairs playing our own game sometimes. And then every once in a while, especially with Animal Crossing lately, we will go on each other's island or something and just be goofy or whatever. But most of the time it's our own games, but we're hanging out.
Yeah, I've got all 3 systems connected to the same TV through an HDMI split switch.
Yeah, that
is normally smart enough to cut over to whichever one has just been turned on. So most of the time I don't even have to touch it. I can put the switch into sleep mode, turn on the PS5, and everything just swaps over for me. Then I shut the PS5 down, pick up the Switch again, and I can continue Sea of Stars, all without having to touch anything on the TV.
Nice. So, all right. Well, that hopefully gives Alan an idea of, probably more normal what he's doing there than he realizes, and not as bad of a thing. So, because not all spouses are into what their spouse is doing, but sometimes you guys can be doing 2 different things, but still be in the same room as each other. Or like you said, like Jesse was saying, you might be doing your own things, but then eventually you're at least planning something every once in a while to do together. So it's whatever you guys are comfortable in doing. All right. Mikey Burgett asks, with news about the class action lawsuit against Aspire over KOTR 2's DLC for the Switch, is there a game that you would join a class action lawsuit against?
Yeah, we've already covered this.
Yeah.
Earlier in the show.
I laughed when I saw this. That was my first thought. So,
good question though.
Yeah, if nobody knows or has picked up on this, yes, we're joking about the Chicken Wiggle game, but I toyed with that idea and have looked into it and talked to people about it, but just haven't had the time to mess around with that and really dig deeper into it. So there are some safeguards for people in using Kickstarter. So it would have been you'd have to really find a good lawyer to find out, if they broke anything, any laws or whatever.
Yeah,
but yeah,
being through Kickstarter, especially I don't think they did 6 years ago, but now if you pledge anything new, you basically have to check a checkbox saying that you agree that you're not guaranteed to receive anything.
Yep.
You're just
when I backed ODR Hockey Heroes earlier, you have to check a box saying I understand I may not receive what I'm pledging for.
Yeah, and I saw that when I did the Genki set.
Yeah. Yep. So, like I said, I toyed with it, wanted to research it. I thought there could have been a possibility, but again, it was probably not worth it in the long run. So I just kept moving with it. And, but thankfully we got some news on it, and may not have been what I wanted to hear, but it's at least looking on the better side of things than it was nothing at all.
Does anyone know about the Knights of the Old Republic 2 stuff to talk about it? For those who don't know,
No.
I don't know enough about it either.
Yeah, I just know of the high level of when the game was announced, they promised to include never before released DLC. It was the DLC that they planned and then scrapped. And apparently it's scrapped squared because it's not coming to Switch anymore. And people are upset. And that was a lot of people bought the Switch version because this new DLC was planned.
Yep. That's about it.
Okay.
All right.
You're right there, Tim.
Yeah, sorry, being talked to while doing this. So, all right. So the next thing we've got is Mecha asks, what Nintendo character do you think could fit in the Mortal Kombat game? Fatalities and all.
Ridley?
Yeah.
He canonically
Ganondorf.
eats children. So
yeah, Ganondorf, Ridley,
David still says Wart. We need it. Yeah. I don't know about Mortal Kombat, but we do need that character back.
Yes.
He needs to not be locked behind Doki Doki.
Hashtag free world. Hashtag free warts. Yeah, I was thinking like the only other character that came to mind was Captain Falcon. Just for the fact that I think that in the Mortal Kombat universe, if he Falcon punched somebody, they would just explode.
I could see that as a fatality.
That's a good one. I like that.
His friendship is just him hopping into a car and driving off.
I could see Samus doing it too. There's many possibilities, but I think the most gruesome would be kind of cool to see is using like a Metroid to attack somebody or whatever. Just like sucking their brains out or something.
Oh, that'd be cool. Kind of like old Shang Tsung's old Soul Steel fatality, where he drains their vitality.
Yeah.
Someone, Ibisola says Captain Rainbow, but not a lot of people know about that one.
Oh, yeah.
That was a Wii game, right? That came out in Japan and was stuck there?
Yeah.
Apparently used other Mario IP in it.
Honestly, I know it's not a Nintendo character, but it was before it moved to other consoles. The obvious answer is Travis Touchdown.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Someone said Mr. Saturn from the Mother series.
Okay.
How about the
Ness,
third
yeah.
strongest mole? Sam would want that.
Okay.
All right. Great question, Mecha. It was a very unique one. Darth Platypus, which Nintendo character would you like to have moved into your basement spare room? Which would be your last choice?
Is this some weird internet rule 34 thing?
No.
Well, then, if it is, maybe my answers change. I don't know.
Cannot be your Fire Emblem waifu, Jesse. Yeah, well, I mean, we are a family-friendly show. Poochie.
Oh, there you go.
That's my answer.
It's a good one.
I was thinking Kirby. Just if you need, snuggle, use as a pillow. Just hope to not get eaten. Just hope to not get eaten.
Right. When just got to make sure Kirby doesn't have a bad dream and suck you up or something,
Yeah.
And then Kirby becomes you.
Kirby gains the power of procrastination.
Kirby gains the power of wearing a hat. That's what.
Crippling depression and anxiety.
The power of pushing buttons.
I hate you all.
Right. Are there any? Go ahead.
No, the last choice would obviously be Wario.
Oh yeah, last choice. Yeah, I can imagine that'd be kind of funny. Just farting all the time, and stinking up the place, and
that's just me.
You're Wario, Marty. You didn't know that?
Wow.
Wow. All right. Are there any fall activities that are must do for your families?
Gotta go to a pumpkin patch.
Yeah, we used to like to do like corn mazes. That's when I found out that I was like I did those when I first moved to Kansas City a lot, and before I knew the extent of what I was allergic to, which is damn near everything around here. So I just was miserable the entire time.
I thought you were going to be like, that's before I learned that I was scared of corn.
No.
We like to try to go to cider mills. So we'll try to do that in the fall.
Yeah. We usually ended up going like too late in the season where like the corn's mostly dead and the path of the mazes aren't very well defined anymore. You can actually pass through what should supposed to be a wall is because everything's dead. So
that's scary.
The walls are a suggestion.
I did think of another one. Must do fall activity is make all the soups.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Potato soup, taco soup.
That's actually what one of at the last fighters practice meeting. It was yesterday. They had a soup exchange. So, and I didn't know that this was going on. I just knew my wife was making a lot of soup, and I didn't really know why. But she before leaving yesterday, she had like a basket full of like 5 quarts of frozen squash soup. That so she left with that, and presumably came back with a variety of other soups from other people.
We
don't know
together to trade soups.
Yes. It was a soup exchange.
I'm going to start a Discord channel for that, soup exchange channel for that. So
yeah, you seen cookie exchanges? This was a soup exchange.
Yeah, we could do that too. The other thing that we like to do is here in Michigan, we get really good fall colors. So every now and then we like to go drive through a densely tree, fall tree area.
Yeah, we get those fall colors for about a week here in Tennessee.
Yeah.
You blink, you miss it.
Yeah, because we're normally warmer, we don't get the nice colors until almost December. And then again, it only lasts maybe a week.
Yeah.
It's like green, color fall. They all fall out. I mean.
Yep. And then they're back in like 4 months.
Yeah.
Because
ours draws out. So the colors last a good amount of time. And then winter is just winter for way too long here. So, all right. That was some great questions as well. And then Beer asks, what is your most prized Nintendo possession? Prized.
I'd probably
Nintendo
say
possession.
my Virtual Boy at this point.
There you go.
Because it is rare, and I have like 11-ish out of the 20-ish games. Some of like about half of those are like complete in box games. So something I forgot about, the original, when I bought the thing a few months ago, it came with 5 or 6 games, but they didn't have like the little protective bottoms. So I found someplace online that it had a 3D printed protectors. So I just bought a bunch. So now I have all protection on all of my cartridges.
Nice. My prized Nintendo things are ones that were sent to me. So like I got one from Brian. You won't be able to see it because it's kind of dark back there, but it's a those little peg things you can make, and then you put a flat iron on it and kind of heats it up and sticks them together. He sent me a Metroid one of that. I think it came with something that he sent with it, but that I really like because he made it. And then another one I got because I couldn't find my shirt size, but wanted the box, or either he knew I liked it and he gave it to me and gave the shirt to Sam, was the Super Metroid cartridge box that GameStop used to sell with t-shirts in them, where it was the shape of the cartridge from Super Nintendo's cartridge. So a Super Metroid in a giant size Super Nintendo cartridge that had t-shirt in it. And I have that cartridge up there. And the t-shirt's long gone because Sammy grew out of it, but I have that cartridge up there. And then the other thing is that Triforce thing right there. You can see that Bruce made. Again, it wasn't sent to me for free, but I appreciate that because it was handmade by him and with the metal and painted gold and all that fun stuff. So if there's anything else anybody sent me, I can't remember. I appreciate those two, but those were the 3 things that stood out to me right now. So those are my prize positions because they were given to me or they were made by somebody else.
Yeah. I have 2. I'm looking around because most of them are in this room.
Nice.
I'm just making sure. I have 2. The first one is the last Christmas, my wife surprised me with Lego Bowser. She used her Christmas bonus to buy that. I did not know that she was doing that. There were multiple people in on the scheme, including my children and my sister-in-law, who had it shipped to her house. And so that's always going to be one of my favorites.
Yeah.
The other one is I found the receipt from the old school credit card machine, like the one that you had to slide over the top
Knuckle Busters. Yeah.
Where my dad bought me Super Mario Brothers 2.
Oh, nice.
And signed it. And his name is on there. The cost is on there. The date is on there. It was the first game that he bought me after I got my Nintendo. I got my Nintendo for Christmas in 1988. And in 1989, January 1989, he bought me Super Mario Brothers 2.
That is awesome.
Actually, a member of our community has sent me a copy of Super Mario Brothers 2 that's in pretty good condition. And we're going to get those 2 shadow boxed together.
That's awesome.
To hang up here in my office.
Yeah.
And I just have not gotten it done yet. But just having that, I was telling somebody the other day, he was such a great enabler of whatever you wanted to do. I remember, he did that with Nintendo. He did that with comics. We would go to comic book conventions. He knew the issues that I was hunting for. At one time I had, Amazing Spider-Man 300, first appearance of Venom, because that was my favorite comic book character.
Yeah.
So we had all these, we were hunted down, Amazing Spider-Man 298, 299, 300, all the appearances of Venom. He would go and he was great at like haggling with people and,
Awesome. Yeah.
So those are pretty cool memories. I mean, those are probably not like super like special things. I mean, they are to me, but I mean,
Well, yeah, that's your prized Nintendo possession.
In the long run, that's, yeah.
Yep. Makes sense to me. Yep. Great question, Beer. And the other question that he has is football season has me thinking, has there even been a Mario themed football game? Mario apparently plays soccer, tennis, and golf, but not American football. What are your thoughts? Would you like to see a Mario inspired football game? Heck yeah, I would. I've asked for that before when I was complaining about Madden not being on the Switch. I said, come on, we need a Mario American football game. That would be awesome.
Yep. I'd take it. Play it.
Yeah. I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, probably just because the sport isn't as popular in Japan. So
yeah,
it's not going to be developed by a Japanese developer. It'd have to be, third partied.
Somebody needs to come with that concept to them and to let them know they can do it.
Nintendo has let other developers use their IP before. Yeah.
Yep.
I just want them to make that fabled volleyball / wrestling game, Mario Sports, that we were going to get at one time. Like, I need to see that.
When the Switch Classic comes out, like 25 years from now, it'll be it'll come out on there as that never been released game.
It's the Star Fox 2 of the Nintendo Switch. Okay, gotcha. Good question. Well, that is episode 446 of Nintendo Dads. We want to thank you for hanging out with us. We've had a good time chatting tonight together, and we hope you've enjoyed it as well. As we close out the show, we want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger and Jacqueline Amira, and as well as all the other 90-plus patrons who keep the lights on over here at Nintendo Dads HQ. We could not do it without you, and we're super happy to be partnering with you to build a fantastic community. Also, a special thank you to our 17 Twitch subscribers, over 1,420 Twitch followers, and shout out to our 7,000. That's right, 7,003 YouTube subscribers. Again, we wouldn't be here without you, so thanks so much for all of your help. You can head over to NintendoDads.org for all of our Spotify podcast feeds for the show, as well as other Nintendo Dads family of podcast shows like Game Pass News, Dads After Dark, and the Retro Logic family of podcasts. Our latest YouTube videos and tweets, links to all of our social media, Patreon, and Extra Life pages, and Nintendo Dads merch. And don't forget to check out our sponsor, Manscaped, where you can get 20% off your order with free shipping with the code NINDADS. That's NINDADS. Just head over to manscaped.com and check it out. You can contact us in most places. Just type in Nintendo Dads or email us at nintendodads@gmail.com, or like Christian, call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. I want to say a big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show, and remind you, wherever you download this podcast, the audio version of it, please go and leave us a 5-star review and some comments. It helps spread the love to everyone around and helps push the show on up the charts. Because, hey, wouldn't you like us to be number one? We would. What about you? You can make that happen. All right. Well,
yes.
For me,
I want 10,000 subscribers too.
Yep. I want $10,000. How about that?
Let's go.
Big asks. Anybody out there just got some money laying around? I'm your guy. For me, for Tim, for Jesse, this has been episode 446. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Do you know who I am?
Nintendo Dads.